Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to tonight's meeting. It's been a little bit, just a little bit, since we've last saw each other. But of course, that goes without saying. There's always something going on. Today we have quite a few things to discuss. I know everybody is out spending their GameStop check from Robinhood, but we're gonna get to that in a moment. We got quite a few things to discuss tonight. Breaking news. Jeff Bezos steps down as CEO of Amazon, but it's not quite what you think, and we're going to get into that a little bit. Also, too, Rochester Police Department back at it again. You pepper spraying 9-year-old, sis. Like, really, what's going on? We're going to talk about, of course, your stimulus check, and also too, Marjorie Taylor Greene, this loony, I'm going to say it, the bitch is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, representative on the GOP side of things, who is causing quite a stir. But I'm going to wait for everybody to get in, because, bitch, it is a lot going on. To my people on the East Coast, I hope you are bundled up and safe. We had a snowstorm that went crazy in some places, not so much here, but we got some accumulation in ice. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube. YouTube.com/Secretarial Shade. You can also donate to the channel using your super chat or via Cash App or Venmo at Dapper Dan Midas. I sounded professional, like I sounded like a real YouTuber, no shade, like I sound like I really do this. But anyway, it looks like we have a lot of people here already. Hey Vina, Jennifer, what's going on in San Diego? Hey Omarosa, how are you? It's always good to see you, my dear. Lachelle, how you doing? Shanita, how's it going? So we got everybody here. So we're going to get started. So the first thing, of course, breaking news. Okay, breaking news. So Jeff Bezos steps down from Amazon as the CEO. Okay, CEO. Now, someone pointed out in the comments, I think it was my friend Ra, that doesn't mean he doesn't own the company still. Like, it's still, Jeff Bezos is still at Amazon, sis. They're just doing a little bit of restructuring. I think that being a CEO of a company does entail a lot. You do have to be very involved in the daily functions of the business in the company. And I think because here's my thing. I think Jeff Bezos is a James Bond villain. I think him, Elon Musk, they all give me James Bond villain tease, okay? That's just the bottom line and flat out. I know it sounds crazy, but they just give me Bond villain. So I don't think that this restructuring is really just giving the public a new face to look at as the person that runs the daily operations, right? So I'm going to read you this article. Let's get into the details of what's going on. So, Jeff Bezos steps down as Amazon CEO. He said that he will step down as chief executive of Amazon, leaving the helm of the company he founded 27 years ago. He's going to transition to the role of executive chair in the third quarter of the year, which starts on July 1st. Andy Jassy, the chief executive of Amazon Web Services, will take over as CEO of Amazon. In a memo to employees, Bezos said the transition will give him time and energy I need to focus on the Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, Blue Origin, the Washington Post, and my other passions. What I tell you, James Bond villain, bitch. He about to take over the world, he's setting up colonies. Him and Elon Musk, I feel like they get together and create this cabal of world domination. I don't want to look back on this video and be right. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm just teasing. But it give me James Bond tease. The announcement set off alarm bells on Wall Street and throughout the business community, though the transition does not necessarily does not necessarily portend any significant change to Amazon's business. So listen to these numbers, sis. So every time you get a package coming, okay, definitely get the package. Every time you get a package coming, Amazon reported a record year of growth on Tuesday, including 38% increase in sales from 2019, netting the company $21 billion in income, nearly double that from the year before. Okay, Amazon's share price was up about 1.5% following the announcement. Bezos steps away from Amazon at a time when its market value hovers around $1.7 trillion. Okay? Crazy. It remains to be seen how active Bezos will be in Amazon's business in his new role. Several major tech executives have stepped down as CEO and remain intimately involved in their company's business, including Larry Ellison at Oracle and Bill Gates at Microsoft. Bezos remains one of Amazon's biggest shareholders, so he still got the vice grip in this bitch, okay? I will reiterate, Jeff Bezos is not leaving. In Jassy, Bezos is tapping a longtime Amazon employee who joined in 1997 and built the company's cloud services business, which started as a... Okay, MGM, I know y'all already got one James Bond movie in the can, but when y'all introduce this next 007, bitch, just read this article. This article is giving you everything that you need. You could do a movie with two villains, a super villain, bitch. The move is a major turning point in one of the most successful entrepreneurial runs in American history. Bezos founded Amazon in '94 as an online bookstore, survived the dot-com bubble in the early 2000s, and built the company into one of the largest employers in the U.S. He started out selling books, bitch. Now he's selling you TV shows, mail. Like, no shade, Amazon better than the post office, bitch. I mean, the USPS, y'all might as well just go ahead and do Amazon. Just get Amazon for everything. So he's taking over the world. So what he's going to be doing, in addition to dedicating time to his space exploration company, Blue Origin, okay, translation Blofeld, if you watch James Bond films, and to the Washington Post, which he owns. Bezos said he plans to focus on his philanthropic efforts, including the Day One Fund and the Bezos Earth Fund, which are focused on helping homeless families and starting preschools in low-income communities and climate change, respectively. So, there you have it. He's like, look, I've got this company off of the ground. We basically run the entire world from a shipping perspective and mail. Like, people don't know how to shop without us anymore. I have all of the money I need to fund my great world destruction plot. And that's basically what's going on. No, but shout out to Jeff Bezos. I still think he's a James Bond villain. I think Elon Musk is a James Bond villain as well. You're not going to tell me any different, but kudos to these men for, you know, picking themselves up from the bootstraps and creating these companies that are just amazing. You know, but that's what's happening there. Now, since we're on business, like I said earlier in the day, well, earlier in the week, last week sometime before the snow hit here on the East Coast, everybody and their mother, I'm talking about my little brother, my mother, everybody and their mother had stocks in GameStop. Everybody, GameStop, AMC, everybody was stockbrokers. Everybody on Robinhood, Cash App, Webull, every stock, Bitcoin, you go on Clubhouse, every motherfucker was a stockbroker expert. I ain't never seen so many broke-ass Wall Street people in my motherfucking life. But everybody was an expert. Everybody was getting checks. Oh, my stocks, my shares. Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. But, girl, your light's about to get cut off. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, everybody was a stockbroker investor. So, as we all know, if you've been under a rock, this whole GameStop thing, basically, they blew the stock up. Some people got some good money out of it. Some people didn't. But who hurt the most was the rich people who the stock market is really for. Now, here's the thing. Robinhood is really not for the everyday person. I remember reading an article, and it said something like Robinhood is a service really for the elite rich people, 1%. Its actual product is its consumer. And I thought about that, right? I thought about that, and I said, you're absolutely right. Through Robinhood, you get to know how people are thinking, what they're spending, what they think is going to be the next thing, because you've now opened up the stock market to the general public. The thing is, the general public gagged y'all asses last week, and now you're changing the goalposts. So here's my personal opinion on that. I think that the stock market, like I said earlier, is not for the everyday person. It's not designed for the everyday person. It was never for working class people. What they did was, eventually, they started selling you this belief through your 401ks and your 403bs and all that stuff that, oh, you can do this, invest, you can get this, that, and the third. It's okay for you to do it with your 401k because you're really not really controlling the investment on that. Sure, you're contributing to your 401k or your 403b or whatever it is, whatever plan you have with your job, but you don't really go in there and you're not trading and things like that, right? Whereas when you have something like Robinhood, what I honestly believe is that these things got popular, but they didn't anticipate the everyday blue-collar person being smart enough to galvanize people and essentially do the same thing that a lot of these day traders and Wall Street people do every day. The difference is, what this incident with the GameStop thing, with the whole GameStop scenario did, was it shows how powerful the general public can be when they galvanize. So, once that happened, they moved the goalposts. Thank you so much. Y'all keep sending these looking good posts, and I'm thankful. Shout out to my trainer, Feel More Fit. I appreciate y'all. But what it did was it changed the goalposts. So now the public is fighting back. So stock trading app, I'm going to read you this article from The Verge. Stock trading app Robinhood is facing dozens of lawsuits after the company restricted several stocks popular on the R or Wall Street Bets subreddit. At least 30 parties across 10 states have sued the company in federal court, many seeking class action status. They allege that Robinhood users lost millions of dollars because they were unable to buy or sell stock during the freeze, and that the company chose to manipulate the market to help other financial institutions. Robinhood, which bills itself as democratizing force in the stock market, helped facilitate an unprecedented boom around a handful of meme stocks last month. But on January 28th, it infuriated users by freezing trades on several of these stocks, including GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Nokia. The company defended the move in a blog post, calling it a risk management decision undertaken in the face of extraordinary circumstances. The company denied reports that it had sold some users' shares without permission. The answer didn't satisfy users. Robinhood user Brendan Nelson filed the first lawsuit in New York that day, accusing the company of negligence. One thing about New York, they be on it. More suits have been filed, spread across courts in New Jersey, California, Texas, Florida, and other states. Okay? Robinhood has completely blocked retail investors from purchasing GameStop stock for no legitimate reason. Nelson requested that courts force Robinhood to reinstate full access to trading GameStop stock, in addition to paying financial damages for any Robinhood users who were unable to execute GameStop stock trades. Wow. Disgruntled users aren't the only threat for Robinhood, however. The company's decision drew bipartisan condemnation from lawmakers, with Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she was going to be with the shits, and others calling to investigate the company's decision. CEO Vlad Tenev is expected to testify on February 18th before a hearing before the House Financial Services Committee. So, bitch, this shit is not going away. Like, It's not going away. Like, the people is with the shits, okay? They are not playing. Now, here's my thing. You can't get mad at people for doing things. Like, I feel like you're basically trying to penalize the public for learning and adapting. And here's the deeper thing. And this is, COVID has spawned so many consequences. I feel like with COVID, so many people are out of work or working reduced hours or behind on bills, strapped for cash, that people are doing whatever they can or they believe they can to make money, okay? And if people get a Robinhood app and say, hey, let me go ahead and try day trading and I can invest, and they actually get something out of it, that's helping somebody pay a bill or pay a mortgage or rent or what have you. So I feel like almost, and this is just my personal theory, I could be wrong, right? But I feel like, honestly, if the world was the same, like if COVID didn't exist, right? We probably wouldn't have as many people on Robinhood. I think that there's so many things that are a result of this COVID pandemic. I was reading where life insurance policies, people are buying life insurance policies. The sales of life insurance policies are going through the roof. It's so many byproducts of this pandemic, and I think that not saying that COVID did this, but I'm not surprised that so many people are now trading on these apps, these Robinhoods, these Weebles, and things like that. That it's causing significant changes in market influence. Like, what the public did was it showed market influence. Now, what this does is it further deteriorates the idea and the great myth of America that if you work hard or if you take a chance in this capitalistic society, you too can come up. This helps deteriorate that. It also makes the public feel like they can't trust big business even more, because then Google goes on the Play Store and deletes mad bad reviews about Robinhood. Now, granted, most of these reviews are coming from customers who are disgruntled, and it's speaking to a surge, right? A trend. It's speaking to a trend. However, that trend is real. Even though people are hot in the moment, that's how they feel. So if they want to go on to the Google Play Store and say, hey, bitch, this app is trying it, 1 star, that is a real emotion. It wasn't like those reviews were spammed or robots. These are people stormed the app and they left a review. When you go and you delete reviews, and I think they had Robinhood at 1 star at one point, and then push it back up to 4 stars, you understand? That makes people not trust. I'm looking at Google sideways, which honestly, we should all be looking at all of these companies sideways at this point. So situations like this help deteriorate the thin trust that the public already has. And with the state of the world and the state of where we're at, we just don't need things like this. And I saw them interviewing the CEO of Robinhood. Chris Cuomo interviewed him, and Chris Cuomo ain't pulled no punches. And the CEO, he's a young guy, of course, of Robinhood, and he's basically, trying to sell this bullshit. And Chris Cuomo's like, bitch, I'm not here for the shits. You're lying. Don't try it. And some of the people that they were protecting were their own investors. So with Robinhood, it's a whole thing. I think that Ultimately, Robinhood is probably going to be done soon. I think I'm already seeing trends of people going to, different apps and things like that. But I also want to say this, bitch. Do your research. I always tell y'all to do your research. Even with the shit that I tell you. Do your research. Do not be on Clubhouse listening to these fucking, chat line ass stockbrokers, bitch. Like, everybody is not a fucking professional. Just because they made $200 or something, don't make them a damn stock market professional. I could go in the casino and make $200, bitch. So please do your research and be mindful and just be on the lookout, bitch. Because the people, they went crazy with the stock market shit. Now, another thing that's going on is this damn stimulus. I feel like this is the fucking money meeting, bitch. This is giving the money meeting, all right? So, this stimulus bill. So, they're trying to get us more money for the stimulus checks. 1.9 trillion is what the Biden administration is trying to get passed. And they are working feverishly to do that. Of course, there are roadblocks, specifically those of the Republican kind. But they're trying. So, right now, they're trying to Biden is basically saying, bitch, I don't give a fuck what y'all think. We getting this money. All right? Now, what they're trying to do is because, of course, Congress, Senate, all of them have to vote on it. The Democrats are trying to figure out a way how to do this and kind of bypass all of that. So I'm going to read you this article. This is from Yahoo Finance. I think it's really, really interesting. So the White House has been reaching out to Republicans to get some bipartisan support for Biden's plan. But if it doesn't come, Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer introduced a budget measure on yesterday, that could allow Democrats to pass the $1,400 stimulus checks and other aid by themselves. With this budget resolution, the Democratic Congress is paving the way for the landmark Biden-Harris coronavirus package that will crush the virus and deliver real relief to families and communities in need. The first $1,200 stimulus checks were distributed last spring, which is almost a year ago. Bitch, in a year, we've gotten $1,800. Some of us haven't gotten anything. They were largely spent on essential needs, including groceries and rent. The money was also used for investing. A Bureau survey found or was spent on other unspecified things. Those may have included buying affordable life insurance. Sales of policies have surged amid the pandemic. So like I said, a lot of the life insurance policies have been selling out. I think that ultimately they're going to get it through, but I just think it's so sad that we are still going through this situation where people have to negotiate, pretty much. We're negotiating what people are worth. I think that's really sad, and I think it's really unfortunate that we have to live with this and where it's going. But it is what it is. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. Now, last but not least, and let me get a drink for this. Pause. Because this is crazy what's going on. And it involves the Rochester police. Again. So the Rochester police has some real issues. Sorry guys, I had to make sure we didn't lose power. So, the Rochester police, okay, pepper sprayed. Oh, what are we drinking? ooh, it's something adult, it's something light, and it's mixed with pineapple juice. What is interesting is that the Rochester police responded to a home disturbance call. Okay? I'm going to read you this. I hate closing out like this, but it is what it is. Okay. The police department in Rochester, New York, released body cam footage on Sunday that showed a 9-year-old girl being handcuffed and pepper sprayed by police officers who have responded to a family disturbance call. During the incident, which occurred Friday afternoon, officers restrained the girl, pushing her into the snow in order to handcuff her. While she screamed repeatedly for her father, the footage showed. At one point, an officer said, "You're acting like a child." She responded, "I am a child." That's some black children shit, first off. That's some shit I could see a black child saying, no shade, because I know plenty of black children. Of course, I was a black child, and I could see me saying some smart-ass shit like that. So, when she refused to sit inside a police car, an officer pepper sprayed her. Rochester's Mayor Lovely Warren announced on Monday that the officers involved in the spraying will be suspended until the conclusion of an internal investigation, saying that state laws and union rules prevented her from taking more serious action. Police unions are the worst. Police unions are the mob bosses of America. I swear to God. They are the mob bosses of America. And they just are. The level of protections that officers have, it's just amazing to me. It's amazing. The incident has brought renewed scrutiny to the Rochester Police Department months after the city was roiled by the disclosure that Daniel Prude, a black man, was suffocated to death last year after Rochester police officers had placed him in a hood. I don't know if y'all remember that, but that happened last year in the same police department. The handling of Mr. Prude's death prompted the city's mayor to abruptly fire the police chief in September, and the department faced accusations of a cover-up after it was revealed that officers had characterized Mr. Prude's death as a result of a drug overdose. In Mr. Prude's case, the body camera footage was released 6 months after his death, only after his family had sued the city. Officials at the time of the death sought repeatedly to hide videos from the public to prevent damaging fallout, according to city documents released last year. At a news conference on Sunday, police department leaders pledged to be more transparent, releasing the body camera footage of the girl being pepper sprayed about 48 hours after the incident. The video was redacted to blur out her face, I get that, and her name has not been publicly released. Absolutely. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that for a 9-year-old to have been pepper sprayed is okay, said the Rochester Police Chief Cynthia Harriet Sullivan. Miss Warren said the girl reminded her of her own 10-year-old daughter. I don't know what's going on in Rochester up in New York. And that goes to show you that racism and institutionalized racism is a real thing, right? Especially, I think we live in this myth sometimes that racism is like, oh, the deep South. No. It exists everywhere. And it's so interesting because it exists globally, right? And I say this because it was so crazy. I started watching Lupin on Netflix. And it was amazing to me. Lupin takes place and this is totally sidebarring, but Lupin takes place in France. And it was interesting to see how race relations and some of the same things that we encounter here in America, black people all over the world deal with. And to pepper spray a 9-year-old, like, I feel like it's crazy to me that they found that this was okay. It's not any outrage or anything like that, like it should be. But people were going off about Capitol, people storming the Capitol being pepper sprayed, or the lady who lunged and tried to force her way into the Capitol building that was barricaded, the door that was barricaded, who got shot. And they, oh my God, he didn't have to shoot her, which that cop isn't getting any charges, by the way. But I thought it was interesting. But also, this is not unusual, right? Especially with the way that black people are policed, and particularly the way that black children are handled in situations like this. Black children are treated very harshly. When you look at the Tamir Rice incident, when you look at this incident now, when you look at Khalif Browder, black children, there are no mistakes for black children. We're not walking you out in a bulletproof vest and taking you to Burger King. You can get killed. You will get jailed for years with no bail. And it sends a very, and once again, I always go back to this, it also is a referendum on why black parents discipline their children in a different way. And I often used to be like, Mom, why am I not allowed to speak my mind? Why am I not allowed, your parents, especially in when I was coming up, there was a saying that children are to be seen and not heard. And I understand why that is now. I really get, it's certain things, and I know I have a lot of young people watch this broadcast. To any young people, whether you're a teenager or anything like that, you're sneaking and watching it because my mouth is terrible. I'll be coming out my mouth sometime. But if you're watching this, understand that there are certain things that your parents and your elders are telling you, not necessarily because they don't think that you should be an individual. They're telling you this to save your life. And they're telling you this because they're scared. So I implore you to kind of take what your elders and your parents tell you with a grain of salt. And really, really apply it and appreciate it. It's going to be interesting to see where this story goes. I will be following it. But I think it's incredibly ridiculous that this even happened. But it is what it is. This is America. And this is, the country that we live in, unfortunately. But with that being said, we're probably going to meet again next week and see what's going on. Once again, if you're not following the channel, you can also do that on YouTube, youtube.com/Secretary of Shade. Don't forget, if you want to donate to the channel, Venmo or Cash App at Dapper Dan Midas. Right now, I am finishing Lupin because everybody's asking me about television now. And I was going to do television spots in the past, but I'm like, I don't know. I always teeter with, are people going to get it on my YouTube channel because it's so politically driven? But I think I may eventually get into that. I'm watching Lupin, Bling Empire for you reality people, and also the Great British Baking Show, which I find in the COVID era has been very comforting to me for some reason. But I love that show. Also, too, I bought a ticket to the online Sundance Film Festival. Sundance Film Festival happens every year, usually in Park City, Utah. But, of course, because of COVID, they couldn't have it. So, the good thing is it was held virtually, and I got the chance to see Questlove's documentary, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised, or something like that. I'm totally butchering the title. It hasn't come out yet. But it was an amazing documentary on the Harlem Cultural Festival in 1969. Stevie Wonder, The Fifth Dimension, Gladys Knight, Mahalia Jackson, the Staples Center, the Staples Singers, like so many great acts. And the footage was actually sitting in a basement for 50 years, untouched. So I think it's fantastic. There's a great opening number with the Stevie Wonder drum solo montage. When it does come out, I do highly recommend that you check it out. But on that note, as always, I love you dearly. Stay warm, stay safe, stay engaged, and stay aware. With that being said, y'all have a great evening. I will see y'all soon. Peace and love, and rest in peace, Miss Cicely Tyson.